The intricate work by talented artists across the South has made its way to the capital city. 12 News' Tia McKenzie has details on a unique collection on display at the Mississippi Museum of Art, which deepens understanding of the Black experience and decodes hidden elements through quilting.
When you think of quilts, you often think of warmth and protection, but it's much more than that. Each stitch tells a story of creativity, resilience, and cultural identity.
Quilts are like a hot bowl of chicken noodle soup on a very cold day and you're not feeling too well.
Of Salt and Spirit, Black Quilters in the American South showcases over 50 handmade and machine-stitched quilts spanning from the 1960s to 2010.
The exhibition really explores the traditions and stories and the community impact that quilting and these quilt makers had from a Black feminist lens. And it puts a fresh interpretation on what the craft actually is. You'll see as you go through the exhibition, some of them are the more traditional functional uses. We actually have one in our beginning section, which is called Homecoming, and we have a quilt that's laid in standard use like it would be in a bed. And what I love particularly about this quilt is that you can see some of the wear on it, and it really makes it feel like, you know, this is something coming out of someone's grandmother's house, and that there's history and use within that quilt, which I think is important.
And the historical significance is even more important.
During times of slavery, a lot of quilts were used for enslaved Africans to find freedom, because there were certain patterns and certain codes that were embedded in the quilts, and only the trained eye would know that, because now it has a soul.
Artist Stephanie Brown has several quilts she birthed on display at the Mississippi Museum of Art. Her quilts tell a powerful story.
Enslaved Africans, and when they were going to freedom, they looked for the North Star in the sky so they would know which direction it led them to freedom. And so I put the North Star in here. Also, you see the buttons that represents the different plantations.
While it may take one quilter to create 18 quilts in 1 year, it takes Brown sometimes 18 months to create just one of her unique artworks. And just talk to me about the time that it takes. I know you stitch each of these quilts by hand.
I stitch each quilt by hand. Every quilter has to find their method, what inspires them, the way they create.
The use of color, fabric, and technique invokes emotion and connects community.
In our last section, which is called Bound by Love, that really touches on the intergenerational practices and how the quilts are supposed to be passed down throughout generations. They're supposed to hold different memories and, you know, different feelings, and are supposed to be given to your grandkids and your grandkids' and things of that nature.
If you have a quilt that one of your loved ones, your ancestors made for you, you need to take it out, because their mojo, their vibe is still in there.
This Black History Month, we honor all of the women who have exemplified strength, courage, and wisdom in all that they do. In Jackson, Tia McKenzie, 12 News.